Hello and welcome to another episode of Light Body Radio. I am your host, Dr. Lara May, and I wanted to give you a brief intro of this week's episode. I was featured on Light Miracle Workers interview series, and I had so much fun. I wanted to bring it to you in its entirety, so you can check it out on YouTube at Light Miracle Workers YouTube page, or you can go to the show notes page on drlaramay.com/Light Body Radio and catch it there, or you can listen to it in audio format on any of the places that you love to listen to my podcast. So without further ado, I will hand it over. Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Lara May, a clinical pharmacist specializing in functional medicine, as well as a certified yoga teacher and Reiki master. I run a truly integrative health coaching practice encompassing functional medicine lab testing, yoga and meditation, and a sprinkling of Reiki energy medicine. Join me here on Light Body Radio to break through your health plateau and come into alignment with your natural vitality.
So my name is Alicia Markowitz. I'm one of the creators and founders of Light Miracle Workers, a platform that is a huge virtual home for coaches, healers, teachers, mentors, instructors, practitioners, therapists, anybody who is committed to help others and the world. So we're being Marianne from Chile. Hola, amiguita, ¿cómo estás? Mua, mua, mua. Tenemos que hablar. Okay, so we are the Amazon of mind, body, spirit, mystical, and life transformation. So what are we doing? Well, we are going to help you with marketing, funnels, branding, advertising, so you don't have to do it. We will do it. What you're going to do is focus on your mission, focus on your knowledge, talent, serving your audience, doing what you love the most. Okay, so this is going to be we're going to work as a team. We're going to co-create as a team. Okay, and we will have a community built in like the one we're using right now, where you can actually share all the things you do. You can advertise and you don't have to pay for it. When you sell is when we make a commission of 15%. Is that good or what? This is very important about the community because we're building a movement of light. This community is a place where everybody will feel safe, where everybody's feeling safe because we are building it. There's many people from all over the world. It is a community where we are gonna have a connection, where we are gonna connect with each other, where we'll have our each other's back. It is a community for collaboration, not competition. We're not competing here. We are contributing, we are collaborating, we are helping each other, we're growing together, we are expanding together, and we're doing amazing things together to elevate the vibration of the planet and consciousness of humanity. Does that sound good or what? You are not alone anymore. I am not alone anymore. My husband is not alone anymore. Marianne from Chile is not alone anymore. We are all together with a common dream that we're going to make. We're going to turn it real, okay? So today we have Dr. Lara May. She is a functional medicine health coach. She's an Usui and angelic Reiki master teacher. Bear with me if I don't pronounce things well. You know what I mean. And she's also a master Orion channel healer. I can't wait for that one. And here she is. She's going to introduce herself because I can't wait to start talking about all these awesome things.
Yes. Hi. Yay. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. We are honored to have you. Let me see who is there. Matías. Hello, Ali. Come on, ¿dónde está Mariana? Dile que se ponga. So, okay, let's start. All those beautiful things that I just mentioned about you, that you do, I want to know how everything started. Where does that come from? Okay, you came to this world, your mom and your dad had you, you went to school, kindergarten, I don't know what happened in your head, in your life, that it took you to come to do all these beautiful things, because you're also a pharmacist, is how you say it.
I'm an advanced practice pharmacist, so
Okay.
clinical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us your story.
Well, I think like a lot of us, we've had little bits and pieces like sprinkled throughout. And so I was raised in the beautiful southeastern United States in East Tennessee. And so I grew up in a very religious community. So exposed to spirituality early on, but I grew away from the church I was raised in. And so when I finally started coming back to things, it was through my own healthcare struggles and being having several diagnoses by my early 20s,
Mhm.
IBS, chronic migraines, chronic sinus infections, all of these things that just made daily life a roller coaster. Some days I was up and fine, and other days just super low. Also at that time, struggling with anxiety and depression and figuring out as a female birth control and the hormones making me crazy. So,
Yeah.
Western medicine just seemed like either it didn't have any answers or sometimes it was actually contributing to what I felt like was my own craziness. And so I started at that point to sort of bring in the other spiritual modalities. And so one of my friends at that time was a newly attuned Reiki master. And so I worked with her a little bit and learned about that. And, and then I got into pharmacy school. And so I went back towards the Western medicine side of things, but I always knew that integrative medicine was going to be where I ended up. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
And so about 4 years ago now, I finally decided to make that jump from my clinical pharmacy practice in the hospital to learning about, integrative nutrition and functional medicine. And again, I was doing this for my own health benefit as a patient, but the more I learned, I thought, I can do this. Like, I'm already an expert in medications and chronic disease state management. Why don't I use that to help people get off of these things, and by feeding, no pun intended, the good things in, and I started really getting my mindset, not necessarily under control, but redirected.
Yes.
And, so just bringing it all in. And so now today, what I have is a really comprehensive practice that includes mindset, spiritual healing sessions, and then the functional medicine and integrative nutrition side of things. And so I work with patients and people both only on the energetic side and only on the functional medicine side, or bringing it all together. It's really whatever the person wants. And, so I'm happy to just help people that are ready to heal themselves, because I believe that we are our own most fantastic healers. We don't need someone else to do it for us. We might at different times need teachers and guides to show us the way and to help open us up, and to do all those different things that I know so many of us as practitioners do. But I truly believe that we are our own best healers.
Oh my God. I have like 100 million questions right now. Let me, because I haven't prepared those questions. It's just
That's
listening to you.
right.
I want to ask you. Let me try my best, because it is fascinating to hear you. You are a pharmacist. You know about medications. You know the science, the
Yeah.
chemistry, and you know how the benefit of the medication, but you know also how they can harm you, right?
Yes.
And you know the other side, the functional medicine, the holistic side of everything.
Yes.
So I imagine that there are medications that we simply cannot stop, even though we have our inner healer. I don't know. I imagine. I don't know, medications for the heart. I don't know.
It depends.
For
Yeah, everyone's
diabetes.
unique.
Yes,
Mhm.
everybody's unique. But what have you were suffering for many symptoms, and I imagine you were taking the traditional medications, right?
Yeah, so especially dealing with my chronic headaches over the years, I went through a lot of that and nothing seemed to work. There were a few things that could help me when I was in the, throes of an acute migraine.
Yes.
But in general, in terms of suppressing them or healing them altogether, really the only relief I found was when I decided to change my diet and really get serious about eliminating the inflammation I was putting into my own body.
Okay, okay. So now are you using traditional medications right now currently?
Knock on wood, no. And I say that gratefully and thankfully because I've been able to heal my gut and heal my migraines and heal my chronic, allergies and my depression and anxiety all through diet and supplements. Supplements too, but diet is my main platform.
So that was my point. So
Yeah.
by being committed to the holistic approach, supplements, diet, whatever it is,
Mhm.
little by little you heal, you're
Yes.
healthy, so you could let the traditional medication away, let it go,
Yes. Yes.
right?
And yes, and also too like asking, since we're here as light miracle workers,
Yes.
asking for guidance from spirit, asking for help, asking spirit to heal whatever can be healed that is, no longer for my highest and greatest good. Or if it has been to learn this lesson, then can it now be released? And so that's why I love bringing in the Reiki because I do believe that some of these things that we go through on this planet in this life right now are part of our bigger soul contract, maybe something that our soul chose before we incarnated into this body. But that doesn't mean we have to, quote, suffer through it our entire life. We can learn the lesson and then move on.
Okay, I can't help it. I'm gonna need to ask you,
Good, please.
because maybe somebody's asking themselves. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people go through health issues, a lot of symptoms that they go to from one doctor to another, to another, to another, or they do this diet or they do this supplement, and
Mm-hmm.
they are spending a lot of money trying to feel better, right? Fogginess, or they lack of attention or concentration, or pain in their body. The gut is a huge problem. Um, anything. Well, I am one of them. I am struggling with
Mm-hmm.
that for 8 years already, and everything is worse, worse, worse. And I have been doing that traveling from one doctor to another. My question is this: uh, you know, I am in the spiritual world. I'm a founder of the,
Yes.
right? I believe what you're saying. I believe what all these founder light miracle workers are telling me right now. One, though, there those that do aromatherapy, there are those that do the coaching, there's so many beautiful approach. You have an amazing, you have so many here. But then I have tried in my mind, because I am aware, I'm conscious of what I'm doing. And then when people tell me, uh, you're not listening to your body, or maybe it's a contract, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe, oh my God, I feel, even though I know what you're talking about, because I am in the spiritual world, I feel, but why I'm not, I have done all those things and I cannot get to the bottom of the thing. So there are moments that I say, I'm not crazy.
Oh no.
Eh,
Yeah.
right? I'm not
No, yeah.
crazy, and I am not doing this to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I have to share it, because I know that there are people that are going through the same thing, And this is important to know. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. What am I not doing right? If that is the right question. I don't know if that is the right question, but I feel strange when somebody tells me, maybe you're not listening to your body. Maybe, all these spiritual questions or the contract or this or that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think those are good opportunities for us to tune in and ask, are we listening? And if even if we're listening, are we taking action on what we're hearing? Because we could be getting the guidance but not taking action on it too. Or, maybe it's something that is it's I, everything is there's nothing constant in this life except change, right? So
Yes.
things are always
I always say
changing.
that. I always say that. What? Change is the only thing that's stable.
Yeah, so maybe something that you did a few years ago that helped you might not be serving you now. And I can definitely say, like, I am no perfect picture, and I am still moving and growing through challenges too, and making those choices in my life. And so I still have a coach myself and an acupuncturist. Like, I have my whole team.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm right there with you. I'm like, what am I not doing? Or maybe there's
Yes.
something I'm doing too much of. And so I'm a big fan of reassessment periodically and saying, okay,
Okay.
maybe this supplement that I needed then I don't need now. And so, just reassessing, checking back in with yourself, and then saying, okay, what is my next divine right action? Because it's not about us being perfect, right? But it's
Yes.
how quickly we come back.
Yes.
And how willing are we to surrender to the
Yes.
guidance, to our angelic team, or whoever you believe in that's with you
Yes.
all the time, your higher self.
Yeah.
So I think those are just prompts to sort of bring us back to our core soul self and get us out of this. I know we're not all in the Western world, but that's a Western mindset. I feel like I can say that with the quote, what's wrong with me? What am I not doing right? All of these things. And so maybe it's just a matter of bringing in more self-love and more compassion and more easiness and forgiveness, and understanding that it's a process. Healing is a process,
Yes, it is.
and healing doesn't mean cure. Cure is a medical term that
Yeah.
means whatever the disease is gone.
Yeah.
It's not present there anymore. But healing is a whole nother ball of wax, right? And so you can be healed and not necessarily cured.
Okay. So you just share with us the difference between healing and being cured.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That is an
Mm-hmm.
important one to know.
Yeah, because I think some of us automatically assume that healing means like rainbows and unicorns and perfect body, perfect mindset, never,
Yeah.
never the anxiety or the questioning. No,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just part of being human, and we chose this. And so, like, just changing that perspective too. And
Okay.
I think that allows us to be easier with ourselves and come back to, like, oh, wait, this is just my human mind, but my
Yes.
soul is a lot bigger and wiser than my silly little human mind.
Yes. Okay. 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 Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. That helped. That helped. So, you're a functional medicine health coach. What is functional medicine?
Functional medicine really strives to get to the root of the problem of any disease state or imbalance. And so, whether it's a heart condition or diabetes or a chronic gut problem, we really look to see, okay, where is the inflammation? Like, now we know with the science, the research that's been done, most of the time it's an inflammatory problem or some sort of like a toxic assault problem. And so,
Oh,
are the toxins coming in through our mouth? Are they coming in from our environment? Are they coming in through our minds? And how can we address that? And there's lots of cleansing and gentle detoxification pathways we can do, and with supplements can help that. And then we can also look at your DNA, and we can see,
mhm.
like, are there ways where you're just a little bit predisposed to maybe this pathway not working 100%. And if that's the case, that's cool. We know that we can help it, we can support it. and it's again not necessarily something that needs to be fixed, like as if we're broken, but that it's just finding out like maybe where our weaknesses or our unique, idiosyncrasies are and how we can support them to function
Yes.
better.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I got my a test with my hair for the
Mhm.
DNA, so
Mhm.
they could see if I had heavy metals or
Yeah.
so many things. It was very interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing that
Yeah.
again, I'm glad you brought in the testing, because all of the different tests that most functional medicine practitioners use, your Western medicine doctor is most likely not going to use or even really be aware of. And so I think it's really important to test your body for heavy metals. If you're struggling with a thyroid imbalance, test, do you have enough iodine? It
Yes.
doesn't matter, how healthy or unhealthy your thyroid is. If you don't have enough iodine, it's not gonna, that pathway is just not gonna function properly.
Huh.
And you're gonna feel it. And so that's one of the things that I did a few years ago. I thought, I was like, oh, I'm feeling a little that hypothyroid classic, like struggling to lose weight, brain
Oh
fog,
my God.
tired all the
Welcome to my
cold.
world.
Yeah. And so actually, I did all the thyroid testing and it didn't really show anything, like maybe one little aspect of it out of balance. But then I tested my iodine and I was low on iodine.
Oh, really?
So it's something like that. It's a really simple solution. You just have to, again, with the help of a practitioner, start supplementing with the appropriate amount and correct form of iodine.
I need to check that part, but I went to take my blood thing today, and I don't know if they asked for that one.
Yeah. I mean, depending on your practitioner, they may or may not. So, and a lot of times, if you go to the Western medicine doctor, and I went through this and I wanted to pull my hair out and I was already
Yeah.
falling out so much, I didn't have that much
Yeah,
left.
exactly.
But,
Like,
I took her my labs and she's like, oh, these are fine. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, burst into tears.
exact. Yeah,
I'm
because
not fine.
you think that they don't believe you or you're crazy
Yeah.
when you cannot sleep, you are gaining weight, you cannot lose it, you have pain in your body, so many
Hmm.
things, and
Yeah.
they just send you home like nothing, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, I don't have a major thing. Thank God, thank you, universe.
Right.
But those
Yeah.
symptoms are disruptive enough in your
Yes.
life,
Yes. And
right?
the fact that you're feeling symptoms is an indication that there's something out of balance. And
Yes.
if you let that go on, then other things will fall out of balance too. And so, there's the triad of the cortisol and adrenal system,
Uh-huh.
the reproductive system, and then your thyroid. And they're all three, they're known in our field as like a little triangle. And if one is out of whack, then it can throw the other two out of whack. And so you could have some of these other symptoms. Maybe your symptoms are more like sexual dysfunction, vaginal dryness, something like that. But you test your reproductive hormones and they're totally normal. And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, okay, so sometimes it takes a little bit of detective work to figure out
Yes.
what is that root cause of imbalance that could be throwing everything else off.
Yeah, and a lot is about the hormones, the
Hmm.
thyroid, and the testosterone, progesterone. So you have to adjust here and there. If
Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Hello, Ken. Hello, Claudia. People coming in. So interesting. I love it. So what is an angelic Reiki master? I have heard. Well, I'm a Reiki master, but
Hmm.
I have never heard of angelic Reiki master.
So angelic Reiki was brought in and channeled by a gentleman named Kevin Core in the UK, probably 12, 15, maybe 20 years ago now. Not that long ago. But so it is a channeled form of healing and Reiki. But we really communicate and we use and open ourselves up to the divine angelic realm, and sort of it's
Oh,
a I think like it's a big form of surrender, because with Asui Reiki, we use the symbols and we use hands.
yes,
A lot of healers still do the hands on. You can obviously do Reiki distance and without,
yes.
the hands healing, but So with angelic, we still use the symbols, but so much of it is through intention. And we call in our angels, our guides, our higher
Okay.
self, and even some galactic healers. So like which brought me to Orion later on as part of my path. And so we really, as the healer or channel or facilitator, maybe that's the best word, facilitator, we just open up and allow the energy to move through us for the highest and greatest good of the client that we're working with at the time.
Wow. So can you say again the difference between Usui Reiki and Angelic Reiki?
Yeah, so Asui is the traditional form of Reiki that was originated. Well, it's, Reiki is life force energy. So that's everywhere, and we all have that at all times. But the Asui tradition became from Dr. Asui in
Yes.
Japan quite a while ago. And that is a very unique tradition that incorporates symbols, many of which look like Japanese pictograms, and each one is attuned to its own energy vibration. And so the angelic Reiki is more in tuned and attuned with the angelic realm and the galactic realm. And so it's similar, but I like to say bigger.
Ah, okay.
And
Yes.
it doesn't require any hands-on touching. And again, but Asui technically doesn't either. So yeah.
Okay. So, um, how did you get there to the angelic realm? Because how did you start in that world? Guides, our guides,
Yeah. So
our
my
angels.
yes, my
How did you
human.
get there? Because you weren't there at the beginning.
Oh no, no,
Me
no. And
neither.
yeah, and it took me, a minute to come back to the end because I had this picture in my head of what I learned through my Christian upbringing of angels and that took, different levels of healing that I think really started when I became attuned to Asui Reiki. And so it was my teachers that had learned about this angelic Reiki, and they had gone through the teaching and the attunements. And so I was just curious and I asked them. And so they said, well, we think you'd be a good student for this. Why don't you just, take a leap and come do it with us? so,
Yes.
um, so yeah, it was really interesting. And I think, as always, divine timing. And so it healed a lot of my perceptions and a lot of my past, maybe even hurts that I had had through the Christian experience, and just opened me up to a much more loving, an unconditional loving and non-judgmental perception and willingness, really.
Yes. So we're talking about something I think very important. And I know a lot of people that have been raised in a very religious house. Doesn't matter
Mm-hmm.
what religious. Like, for example, my husband was raised in a very religious home, Jewish,
Mm-hmm.
kosher.
Mm-hmm.
His father was Orthodox for a long time, and now he's not in religion. I'm not saying that religion is, but everybody
No,
uh,
yeah, to each
is,
his own.
is anybody's choice.
Yeah.
But um, there are people that find the spiritual world and they are anguished, they are mortified that they want to make that transition. Obviously, you made that transition. So,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell them? What would you tell them so they feel okay, they can do their transition? Because I know
I
it's a hard one. You
Yeah. So.
feel guilty, you feel so many things. It happened to me too. I was raised
Mm-hmm.
Catholic. My parents weren't super Catholic. They just wanted to give us a religion, but
Mm-hmm.
we were in a Catholic school and that was strict enough.
Yeah.
So it took me some time because I felt guilty and I feel scared. I was feared.
Mm-hmm.
I had fear thinking that God was going to be so mad at me or something like that. But
Right.
then I understood. But what would you tell? What would you tell these people that are, exploring this beautiful path, and they want to do their coaching or their, and they don't know what to do? I have one of those. One founding light miracle worker
Hmm.
is doing it secretly, like hidden from their family. They're she's in this spiritual world and she's hidden from her family.
Hmm. Yeah, because it's there's a lot of branches of different religions that are very judgmental and very fearful. And
Mhm.
so I would say for that person to follow your heart, to follow your guidance, to call it in, to ask for help. Because our angels are always here for us and there for us, even if we're not to that point of acknowledging them yet. But because of this law of free will that it is on planet Earth, we have to ask for them to really.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's, a life or death, sometimes you'll have those, uh, true miracle interventions, that you hear about, like maybe like a near death experience or something. But in everyday life, we have to ask for help. And I think that's super humbling. And again, it brings us back to that concept of surrender and to let go and to really start to build that faith. For me, in my path, I always struggled with faith and that knowing that I was supported by the universe until I started practicing Reiki and really practicing on a regular basis angelic Reiki. Before that, and that was always my thing, in the Christian church, was I just didn't believe. I didn't have the faith. And I didn't like the contradictions and the hypocrisies that seem to constantly be bubbling up. And so it just never resonated with me. And so
Yeah.
that's what I would tell other people too. Like, find, just be the objective detective, look and, find things that you resonate with and then follow that path
And
because
ask questions.
oh,
Ask.
yeah, ask incessant questions.
Mhm, mhm.
Because my sister also is a Reiki master, but her path has been totally different than mine. But it's really fun to teach with her cooperatively because we were raised in the same religious tradition and we've both again had our own different paths, and but now we complement each other so
Yeah.
well. And so yeah, I would just say, have faith, ask for help, and just keep being curious and asking questions.
Being curious.
Oh, and saying yes. Keep saying yes.
Yes, yes. Give yourself permission to ask questions,
Yes.
to be curious, and
Hmm.
always yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Life is yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because a lot of times we're presented with these opportunities that can seem really scary. And if
Yeah.
we don't say yes, then we're not going to necessarily go down that path that's going to lead us to something that's better than we could have ever imagined.
Yes, yes, yeah, 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 yeah. I agree with you. Thank you so much for this answer. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, functional medicine, health, and Reiki. What do you do? How do you help people? Do you complement both? Do you use both? Do you use one? How do you help people?
If my client is open to both, and I like to use both because I do think that there is an energetic aspect to the diseases that we manifest in our bodies. And so I think that it can really help, break up those stagnicities, get the energy moving again, bringing in the light, really focusing on healing with light and love, and, releasing past traumas. So all these different aspects that can lead over time to us holding the energy somewhere in our body that if we don't deal with it will eventually turn into some sort of imbalance slash disease. And
Yeah.
so I like to use them together, but I totally respect. I have several clients that are like, nope, I just want to focus on the functional medicine. Let's do our testing. Let's focus on food. And that's cool.
Okay.
Because it can, if I think the person has to be ready to sort of look at it from the both of the different aspects, because there's the physical side of it and then the energetic side. And not everyone's ready to look at the energetic side of things. And that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. It's a
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the healing journey, the healing process.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, Master Orion Channel Healer. I need to know everything about this.
So I don't think that this would have come into my world had it not been for the angelic Reiki attunements and working with that. But I found a teacher through that whole process, actually just on YouTube. She posts a lot of meditations on YouTube that I really enjoyed because they deal with the angelic realm. And then I noticed she was going more into working with different galactic beings like Pleiades and Orion, and so I was curious, and so I found out who trained her, and then magically, divine timing, they decided to offer a class together that you could take online through Zoom. And
Uh,
so yeah, so that has just been like totally like another level of expansion and like blowing up my world, but in a good way.
so what is that? What
Oh,
is master? What is being a master Orion channel healer?
so an Orion channel means that you are opening yourself up to channel Orion,
Oy!
the
Okay, tell me
being
that
the
with that.
being of Orion, and or any other galactic healers that you want to bring in or ascended masters. And
So
so
Orion is,
yes, or Pleiades, or Lemurians or
when you say
Atlanteans.
Orion is the constellation,
Yes,
okay.
yeah. So
So
he's
that the
yes,
energy comes from that constellation.
yes,
Constellation.
yes, and he comes through us. So sort of like we would imagine like an angel to be. So just another type of being, but
Okay.
from up there.
And you can actually see Orion from Earth very
You
easy.
can.
Every
Yes.
day. I see
Yes.
it every day. Oh, okay. So, but tell me more. Tell me more about that. Uh, what do you do in a session with, like, about with using that?
So there's a couple ways we can do it. So if you want to have it be interactive and ask questions, then I can energetically sort of quote set myself up that way.
Mhm.
So, or if you, I have a bed in my office, like a massage table,
Yes.
and crystal lights that line up with your chakras. So, what I like to do if my clients are sort of want to just be like relaxed and open, then I lay them down on the bed, turn on the lights, and then I just channel whatever comes through for them. And then if
Oh, so you have messages.
yes, yes. And so if they want to ask questions, no problem. Or if they just want to be open to whatever comes through, that works too. And so it can be, again, like whatever the client is looking for.
Wow. I love that part. You should channel something for light miracle workers.
I can. Yes, yes.
If that's possible. I
Yeah.
can't wait because we are doing, when I say we, all of us,
Hmm.
we are committed to elevate the vibration of the planet and consciousness of humanity. That is a big commitment, and um also a huge responsibility, but I'm
Hmm.
super happy with it. I don't care. I
Yeah.
want that. I want to make a difference in this world, and I know all of you do too, because that's why we're together. So if you feel that there is a message that we really need to hear to be able to do it more effectively, or any guidance is super welcome. You let me know if that happens, okay?
Okay. All right.
um so I love this question. I always ask anybody that I'm going to interview if they want me to ask a certain question,
Hmm.
and you said yes, and this is what you do you want me to ask you, and I think it's perfect. It's so useful, because when I read it I felt relief, as I told you before we came live. So the question is, what is the simple, most important, and simplest thing someone could do to improve their health and well-being? This is so good. So you
I
can,
think people are going to be like, no, that's too simple.
no, that's a
It's
very good place to start.
Yeah,
It
real
gives me
whole
like, oh
food.
my God, I don't see this mountain. No,
Yeah,
I see, okay, how do I start? Okay, one step at a time. Go ahead and answer.
one step at a time. Real whole food, first step. Real whole
Ha.
food.
Okay,
Shop in
what
your
is that?
produce. Yeah, shop in your produce section or get a CSA membership, which is food farmed locally. In the United States, we have what we call CSAs, and they're
What is that?
community sourced agriculture, is I think what it stands for. But they are essentially food that's gathered from local farms and it's put together in a like a subscription box, and it can either show up at your door depending on the service, or you go to like a local place to pick it up.
And what is it again?
Local grown vegetables and eggs and produce.
Well, but you said letters.
CSA.
CSA, because
Yes.
I buy organic, but is that the same
It
or
can be, but a lot of times in the store, organic can be expensive. So depending on where you live,
very?
it could be very far away. Like if you live in a very rural environment, your grocery store might not be that close and it might not be that cheap. And so if
It's
you
not cheap.
have these other options, then so I just like to, make sure that my clients and my consumers know all the different options. And so there's a lot of mail order food services now that can bring you good food straight to your door as well.
Okay, I want you to tell me again. Is CSA or what? Where else we can find this food?
So if you have a local farmers, a local farmers market, or
Okay,
a co-op, a food co-op.
food co-op.
hmm And so, yeah, just to make sure these your food is your baseline. It's what you do every day. You
Yep.
can't live without it forever. I mean, we can fast and we can live out without it for a little while, but not forever. And so it's just really important to give your body the nutrients that it needs. We were talking about the thyroid earlier and the iodine, but your
Mhm.
thyroid also needs zinc and selenium. And if you don't have enough zinc and selenium, then it's not going to function properly either. And so make sure your vegetables are nutrient dense as much as possible.
And what does that mean?
It means that they actually have the vitamins and minerals that they're meant to, that they get from the soil. And so with buying factory farmed food or food from like huge farms, industrial farms, they don't treat their soil that great and it gets really depleted over time. And so you might be buying these beautiful fruits and vegetables that have almost no nutritional value whatsoever.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's a shame,
So,
but
yeah, yeah. Of course, it's your health.
yeah, yeah.
So if I buy those vegetables that you are saying, dense with nutrients and all that, if I buy them from the using the CSA and local farmers, I'm gonna get that type of vegetables.
Yes, your food is going to be more nutrient dense because they take care of the soil. A lot of the farms that participate in services like that, even some of them use biodynamic farming, which means that they use the byproducts of their cows or pigs or whatever to refurbish the soil that they're growing the vegetables in.
Okay.
And or vice versa, or they use really good quality fertilizers to replenish what the plants take out, because
Hmm.
it's normal for plants to take nutrients out of the soil. That's how they get into the vegetables, but that just means that you have to replenish the soil too.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Hash Beta from Serbia. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Somebody watching you from Serbia. Uh, okay. So then the food is mainly vegetables, fruits. What about
Vegetables.
meats?
I'm okay with meat, but I am also fine with people that don't want to eat meat. But, I think if you're a vegan because of the, animal treatment
Yes.
conditions, then I think there's plenty of options out there for you that don't treat animals poorly. And so it's
That would be
totally.
what?
So Butcher Box is a meat
Butcher
butcher
box?
butcher box. They're actually a meat delivery service that bring you heritage breed animals and fully grass fed and harvested
Oh,
cows, and they make sure that that's all sustainably done and humanely done.
oh,
And so again, like because you go to the grocery store and you really don't know what you're getting, even
oh,
if it says organic, that I
yes.
mean, there's just a lot of questions there still. And so there, and I would again look and see what's in your local community, what farmers are in your local community doing the things that you like to see them do. I'm from East Tennessee, a very rural and agricultural place, and I know several of my friends and family that do the biodynamic farming, organic, totally humane. What they, their products are fantastic and healthy and nutritious. So it
Okay.
is available out there.
So butcher box for meat.
Yeah, so if you're in a city and you're not near a farm, then Butcher Box might be a good option for you.
Of
Or
course.
again, look, yeah, if a lot of local food co-ops will bring in eggs and meat from other places too. So definitely
Okay.
look into places. I don't know. Honestly, I don't shop at Whole Foods a lot, so I don't know what kind of meat they have there and where it comes from, but like I know the smaller, more local grocery stores are usually a really good resource for where their meat is coming from. So you
Okay.
at least ask,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about fish?
So the Thrive Market, which is like an online grocery store, they they have fish that you can have delivered to your door that again is sustainably harvested. So it is out there. I think fish again can be a little tricky because you don't want to go with farm raised
Oh no, at
at
all.
all,
Oh,
at all.
scary. Oh,
Yeah.
oh
But
my gosh.
but then even too, like we don't want to totally deplete our oceans, and so you're sort of like, well, what do I do?
Yeah,
So again, if there's anything local, go local.
yeah.
If and then there are some services out there that will deliver the sustainable harvesting to your door.
That and everything you can have delivered to your door.
Now you can. I think that's one of the good things that came out of COVID. There was, I mean, that's one of the silver
Yeah.
linings is that now you can almost get anything delivered to your door. And so you can actually be a lot more choosy. And
Yes.
because there's so many different services, the prices are coming down and it's making it more affordable.
Oh my God. That yeah, it should be that way.
Yeah, it
I
shouldn't
cannot
be. Yeah.
understand how to eat healthy potatoes are more expensive than the other potatoes. I
Yeah.
cannot understand that.
I don't either.
Oh, well, I think we are little by little improving.
Yes, we're making progress.
We are
Yes.
making progress, yes, because before you couldn't even find anything that
No.
wasn't organic or local like this. It was very complicated. I'm happy that we are making some progress because I have been trying to buy very healthy food for a long time. But you are giving us a lot of good tips,
Okay.
very good tips. So that was the the most simple way to start. Whole foods.
Yes.
Anything else?
Move every day. Some sort of movement. Go for a walk, take the stairs at work. Go just get outside at least for a half an hour if not more ideally, but move gently. You don't have to go balls to the wall with with the CrossFit. But so just move every day, and then I'm a big fan of meditation and breath work.
Oh,
Meditation has definitely saved my life and changed so much for me
why? What happened?
because it gave me the space to really slow down and be with myself and my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and actually just learn that it's okay, like whatever it is, it's all only temporary, and as long as you're still breathing on the other side, you're fine.
Yes.
Like just to give yourself the space to be sad or to be joyful or whatever it is that, in order for these emotions that we're not really taught how to deal with as children and adolescents, to so that they don't develop into diseases in our heart or in our reproductive organs, that we allow them to move through us. And I feel like with meditation, that gives you that perfect safe space. It's not in a fight or flight
Mhm.
situation. And even sometimes with beautifully guided therapists, sometimes when we're if you're working with different recall strategies, it can be scary, all those things. And so I feel like the meditation is the perfect place to provide yourself that you can deal with it in your own time and space. And again, bringing in the light, bringing in your guides, it's one of my favorite times to communicate with my guides and angels, is in that time.
Great. And for those that are, I know there's a lot of people that listen to meditation, and they are, oh my God, no, I don't know how to stop my mind. That's where they go, or they are scared that they cannot meditate, that they don't know how to do it. What would you tell them?
Give yourself 5 minutes and just breathe. Just listen to your breath. Just start there. And if a thought comes up, which is fine and normal, just recognize it and allow it to, almost like, you when you watch the sheep, says you're counting the sheep before you go to sleep. If you can't
I
sleep,
love that.
you just watch the thought go over the fence too.
Yes,
Just again, just getting in that space of allowing things to move through and pass, and that it teaches your mind that you don't have to obsess over every single little thing.
exactly. So
And
see,
yeah,
you will see your thoughts. It's
yes,
okay. It's
yes.
okay. You are meditating. It's just that you're gonna just let them, okay, 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 right?
Yes, yes. And
Pass
that
them like
breathe,
clouds.
yeah. And then breathing, and that the rhythm of your heartbeat is so powerful and so healing and so simple. And even if it helps you to put your hands on your heart and just close your eyes and breathe for, 5 minutes.
Okay, I have a personal question.
Okay.
I mean, not a personal question to you. What I mean is, I have a question that is personal to me. With
Mhm.
the breathing.
Mhm.
I have my altar here. I'm not meditating now. Lately, I'm not doing it. I have to go back to it. I want to go back to it. No, I have to. Those I have to. I should. You need to just release it.
Mhm.
I want to go back to my meditation practice. The thing is the breathing. I suffered past from panic attacks for years. That has a story. But one of the ways to overcome them was breathing.
Mhm.
But breathing, to me, when people say breathe, or when I do these exercises with breathing, it makes me anxious. Why? I don't know. And I don't know what would you tell somebody that has that challenge. Once I read something from a very good coach therapist that I follow, that she said that maybe for some, breathing, when they say breathe, is not the approach, or at least at the beginning, or I don't know. What would you do? Like, okay, I go to your practice and I say, when you ask me to breathe and concentrate or focus on my breathing, I
Mhm.
get more anxious. What would you do with somebody like that? That's me.
I would ask you, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts when you're getting anxious? And
Mm.
I would encourage you to do sort of like a thought download, a brain dump of all the thoughts that you think. If when you hear that word breathe, even maybe just the word breathing, you're like,
Yes.
gently stop breathing.
Yes.
What's going through your head? And like get them out on paper so you can see them and get curious. Okay, where did this come from? When did I first start thinking this? And
Ah,
is it something that I can release? Like I can be aware of it, and now like that you can just, sometimes when we see things on paper with our human mind, we're like, oh, well, I don't resonate with that anymore. I can let that go. Or, ooh, that's really interesting over there. Like, and dig a little deeper into that
yes.
one thing that, so I would say that could be a tool. And then also, I would say focus on the light. Maybe if the word breathing is, anxious for you, I
Yes.
would say, close your eyes and focus on connecting with the light above you and bringing it in. And just with each inhale, bring in more light. And until you feel so expansive that you're bigger than your room and you're bigger than your house. And, just keep bringing in the light and expanding.
Okay, okay. But I love what you just said about what are the thoughts when you hear that word or when you that because it makes you aware of, oh, it helps you to go to the root of the
Yes. And then you can choose
ah,
more thoughts. You can choose different ones. So once you see your thoughts on the paper, now
yes,
you can say, oh, well, what would be a better feeling thought than that? Or, like, again, like I don't resonate with this one anymore. So I can just totally throw this one out, you know, and then like now give yourself a chance to choose better thoughts or choose thoughts that feel better, choose thoughts that encourage you to want to breathe. Like, oh, when I take a deep breath, I feel so expanded and I feel so supported by the universe or whatever it is, and sort of like reframe your mindset around that breathing.
oh, interesting. Wow.
It might be a process, but it's
Yes.
doable.
Thank you for that. I think it's very helpful. Never thought about that before, and so simple.
Yeah.
If you don't know,
Yeah, because most of the time when we get that clenched up, anxious feeling, it's because of something that we're thinking. And so if we can,
yeah,
again, just give us
definitely.
that little bit of space to get curious about that. Okay, like what am I thinking when I feel this feeling or when I hear this word that makes me feel this feeling? What is going on in my head?
Yes.
And let's get it out
Yeah.
so we
Yes.
can pick something else to think.
Okay. Okay. Great. So, wow, we have had an amazing conversation. So,
Yeah.
let me ask you, uh, how would you help Light Miracle workers to spread the light?
I'm really looking forward to working cooperatively. So I think if we, the more we work together across all of our different platforms, we're going to bring people together. We're going to be able to expand and spread the word and the light and you mentioned earlier that there's all different practitioners with the aromatherapy and the Reiki, all these
Yeah.
things. And that's because there are so many different opportunities for us to shift our energy and heal.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of our mission is to bring that's why again there's no cooperation. I mean, no no competition,
No
only
competition. Uh-huh.
no competition, only cooperation,
Yep.
because we're all bringing this for each individual person who's unique and has their own like energetic prescription for healing, so to speak.
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're all building together, creating, co-creating together. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you see, we don't have to do this alone. We are not alone. We have each other. And that's how we are gonna make this happen.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Working together, teaching together.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's way more effective, where way more, I mean, it's
Way more
fun.
fun.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. So we don't have to be scared of, oh my God, Susan is gonna take this away from me, or they are gonna copy. No. And if you have a client that maybe needs crystals, you will ask Susan, hey, I send you this client, so please help. Then Susan is going to send you somebody that needs nutrition. And I mean,
Yes.
that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you bring all your clients here, your patients, clients, all your here, and Susan brings theirs, and Matt brings his, and everybody, that you will have not only yours, you will have everybody else's.
Yes.
You will have
Yeah.
everybody will have so many clients that they can help.
Yes.
So there's not, I'm gonna take my clients here. Nobody has, no, everybody for everybody.
Yes.
Can you
We
imagine so how many?
It's so exciting. I mean, I wish I'd
Yes.
had something personally, like as a consumer myself, just a few years ago, because as I mentioned earlier, I've put together my team, but that took years.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
feel like that's the other thing is we're gonna jump forward.
Yes,
So yes, and
exactly.
help so many more people so much faster.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you. I don't know if you have any message available, but if you do, please let us know. And this has been a true pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much. This has been
I,
a lot of
I
fun.
wish we could talk 3 more hours, but we're going to do this again,
Oh
Lara.
yes, yes.
We're going to do this again. This is just the beginning. Wait, you're gonna book many other interviews. We're gonna keep talking. I want people to see what you do. We're gonna share more stories about what you do. So this is just the first step. Like the whole food start. This is just the appetizer.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for doing this, for bringing so much light to the world, and honoring us by being in part of the family and being part of this project. We're so excited. I mean, the founders, the my husband, Mariana, that we had the idea and we start all this project. We are so passionate about it. We are so um, excited, and every time somebody joins, every day they join, we're more and more excited because we're growing bigger, and we're gonna be more stronger to help the world,
Yes.
make a difference.
Yes.
So we're honored by all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for building this. It's going to be amazing. It
Yeah.
already is amazing.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, we are all doing it.
Yes.
We cannot do it. The four of us, we cannot do anything by ourselves. If you are not there or we are not here, we cannot do this. So
Right.
we can do it in a different way, but maybe not as effective, as big, and
Mm-hmm.
to really change the vibration of the planet, to raise
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much, Lara.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you again. And if you need anything, let us know. Are you part of the private group?
Yes.
Okay, good. Awesome. Because that's where we're gonna start building home.
Okay.
Yes, okay?
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful rest of the day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye bye.